it is becoming a problem for Putin and his regime. The rumblings have been out there for a while. You see backbiting within the body politic, within the media. You have, nationalist bloggers. You have moderates. You have the Duma that generally is in lockstep, but you have lawmakers in the provinces and now in Moscow that are openly criticizing the military, Putin's use of these proxy ad hoc auxiliaries. You have Silovki, the power brokers, like Kadyrov in Chechnya, and Evgeny Prigozhin, Putin's the guy who runs the Wagner Group, who are mercenaries, paramilitary. They're all backbiting, and it's beginning the Russian firewall to keep the population from bad news of this awful war in Ukraine is failing. So this is a major problem, and I think we see the problem accelerating with the battlefield losses now almost rout in places in Ukraine and the crumbling of the firewalls against dissent at all levels in Russia.
Right, and meanwhile, Peter, we have in one of these Russian installed run areas, we got a critic saying that Putin should shoot himself over war failures. We're seeing cracks in the facade in all sorts of different places. Surely Putin can't ignore that, can he?
No, I think that he, where he really cracked open Pandora's box was his call up on the 21st of September for this 300,000 partial mobilization that it wasn't that is nationwide. Yes, more in the provinces, but the cities, you have an exodus of hundreds of thousands of able-bodied, mostly Russian men, middle-aged are being called up in large numbers, and it's shocking and affecting the families. And bad news is contagious, and it isn't just up in Russia; it's coming up from the front, where the tens of thousands of Russians have been killed, they disappeared, and 50, 60, 70,000 have been wounded, coming back with no limbs or PTSD. This is out that this is an awful war. The Ukrainians have momentum and initiative, and this is putting major pressure on the regime, which is pointing blame everywhere in the speeches, trying to keep a sense of that, the world, the U.S., the West is against you, and yes, I think that they're having a lot of problem with Kremlin, and this is this is more than the beginning, but it could accelerate very quickly. Again, quite amazing. In the open, in the public now, at senior levels, backbiting. And by the way, the military can't be happy about this either, because they've also been trashed.
Well, it's going to get a lot worse, Peter, isn't it? If the Ukrainian army succeeds in taking back Crimea, and people are seriously discussing that. The Ukrainian forces are pushing south. If they can take back Crimea, that is a blow to the heart of Putin and the Russian case for invading in the first place, and it means access to the Black Sea, which is also very important for so many other things, not least exporting of vitally needed food, grain.
The South, I believe, is becoming the decisive front. The Russians melted away around the Kyiv and the capital, which was, I think, the original intent to decapitate the Ukrainian government and Zelensky. That failed miserably. And then the area around Kharkiv has been swept away. And now you have the offensive into the east. And while the east is important, the Donbass, economically, and this notion of Great Russia and all that, and a good chunk of these illegal annexation attempts, these sham referenda, is exactly as you say. It is in the south. All of the Sea of Azov has been taken, and now they're trying to hang on to the lands along the Black Sea up to the Dnieper River, and they're failing. And where we've seen around Liman, major push, now we're seeing the Russian defenses where we thought they were strongest in Kherson, which is the gateway along the Dnipro down to Crimea, getting at your point, where there is a lot of Russian pride, a lot of Russian history, and a lot of Russian presence and the military. So yes, it's all important. The Black Sea is critical, as you say, and the Ukrainians want it back.